Good morning. Welcome to another check-in. How are you today? I know that time seems to be expanding in a lot of liminal ways right now. And so, I'm just wondering how you're doing, how your relationship with time is going, and how your relationship to yourself and taking care of yourself is going in the middle of all of this. I know I'm disoriented. I think everybody else is. The situation is always changing, and so it can be confusing. So one reason for doing those check-ins is that we can come back to ourselves, come back to breath, and find support both in our body and the environment around us, as well as in the group that comes together to do this. So as ever, let's start with breathing. Let's take 3 breaths together. And on that exhale, on the out breath, let's make that longer than the inhale, the in breath. If you want to, you can even count kind of breathing in 1, 2, breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can just make the out breath longer. And I invite you to make a sound on that exhale or the out breath. The sound doesn't have to be pretty, it can be any sound that you feel like making this morning. Let's do another one. Let's take one more breath. As we do every morning, I'm gonna invite you to kind of turn your gaze inward and orient inwards, and then we're kind of gonna flow from that into the somatic practice that I would like to share today, which is pendulation. As ever, if anything feels like too much or overwhelming, please stop, and you can always orient outwards to the environment. So you can close your eyes or lower your gaze, or you can just turn your focus inward and just notice how you're doing today. How's your breathing? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Does it feel constricted or free? How's your heart? Is it beating faster, slower? Also, how's your heart emotionally? What are the emotions that come up when you slow down? What are the thoughts that are going around in your head? And of course, how are you feeling physically? Are there places that are tight or loose? In pain or not? Just kind of checking in with how you're doing on a physical level. And just noticing with as much curiosity and as much non-judgment as you can handle in this moment. We're just noticing. And as you notice, see if you can notice the support underneath you. If you're standing, that might just be the support under your feet. If you're sitting on a chair or couch or on the bed, it might be the support of that chair, couch, or bed underneath you. You might be lying down on the floor or on a bed or on a couch, whatever is supporting you. Can you feel that place where your body meets that support? And as you sense into that place, can you kind of give into that support even 1 or 2% more? Just kind of relax into feeling that support underneath you. And again, just noticing how it feels to notice the support underneath you and kind of let that be there for you. And now what I want to share is a pretty simple technique called pendulation from Somatic Experiencing. And I invite you to find a sensation that's a little bit unpleasant in your body. Maybe there's a part of your body that's particularly in pain this morning. For me, it's my right shoulder today. Please don't pick the thing that's most in pain and you can't even think, because that can be overwhelming and a little too much. So something that's hurting some, but it's bearable. And then see if you can find in your body something that's neutral or even pleasant. That can be like a finger or a toe. It can be very small. If there is nothing inside your body, it can be a pleasant memory or a place where you feel safe, even if it's just in your imagination, or it can be something in the environment around you that you find pleasant, comforting, or neutral. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 or 3 breaths into the area where there is discomfort or pain, and then 2 or 3 breaths into the area of your body or the memory or the object or place around you that feels comforting, neutral, or pleasant. And we're going to take 2, 3 breaths into that, then back to the discomfort, back to the pleasant, comforting, or neutral area of your body or memory or place in your imagination or place in your surrounding. Makes sense? So that's why it's called pendulation, because we go back and forth. So we go from something where there's discomfort to where there's comfort or neutrality at least. And we do that 2 or 3 times. So let's try that out and see what happens. And again, just noticing with curiosity, not trying to force anything, just shifting our attention back and forth every couple of breaths. Maybe let's do one more pendulation from a place where there is discomfort to comfort and neutrality. And when you've done that 2 or 3 times, again, check in with your body just as we did at the beginning and see what you're noticing. Has anything changed or not? It may or may not, honestly, depending where your body is at this moment. Nothing changed in my body today, and that's okay. So just notice how you're doing. Maybe things have changed a little bit, maybe they've not. One thing I'm noticing though as I'm checking with myself is I'm actually sitting more relaxed, in a more relaxed manner on my chair. I'm always tending to sit like this and like I've sunk in my chair a little bit more. So maybe something has shifted that I didn't notice straight away. So just notice how you feel after doing that exercise. If it's something that's helpful to you, that's another tool that you can add to your toolbox. You're probably starting to see, if you've done a few of those, that a lot of our work is focused on attention, kind of felt sense, and also where we put our attention, right? And how can we shift that in different ways. So as we usually do at this point, I'm going to invite you to orient outwards to the environment around you. This morning I'm not seeing beautiful sunshine out of my window, so that's okay. I'm going to kind of look around, and as you look around or tune your hearing or sense of touch to the environment around you, see if you can find something that feels pleasant, comforting, or neutral to your sight, touch, or hearing. Or maybe if you're drinking your coffee or tea, even to your taste. And see if you can take a couple of breaths into that. Oh, there's nice yellow here on my desk. So I'm going to focus on that yellow object and really notice its color and shape and texture. And breathe into that for a couple of moments. So breathe into whatever feels comforting, neutral, or pleasant in your environment right now. And then to end, and also notice how that feels to do that. And then to end, I think I'd like to voo. I know we've been doing that a lot, and I have a whole video that teaches you about vooing in more detail. But I've had feedback that people really enjoy the vooing, and so I really enjoy the vooing. It helps me, so I'm gonna voo. And if you haven't seen the other video, all the vooing is we take as deep a breath in as we can, and on the out breath we say voo, the sound voo, but we try to vibrate it, so it's more like woo, more like foghorn than anything else. Try to get some vibration in our body. As you exhale, please let all your breath out. Even if your voice runs out, keep breathing out until there's like no breath, and then take another breath in, and then exhale again. We'll do it together 3 times, and I'll voo with you. If it feels like too much, you can always turn the volume down while I voo. But let's voo together. Let's do it 3 times. And again, as ever, notice how you feel after that practice. If that's a practice that's helpful to you, it's always available, and our breath is such a great tool to help us with regulation and self-soothing at this time. And thanks once more for joining me today in this practice. I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope that you feel supported and that you're safe where you are and that you're well. Thanks.